Today's video is brought to you in part by the Orphan Gang, who are plaguing my republic with tons and tons of crime. Today's video is going to be dedicated to talking about crime, at least the second half of it. We're going to talk about the symptoms. We're going to talk about the root cause of it and how we're going to sort of put a stopper on it. Crime is not a problem you can solve quickly in realistic mode. It will take several years for us to get rid of it, but we'll talk about what the steps are and how we're going to go about it doing it. So if you're interested in how crime works in this game, then stick around because that's what we're going to be talking about. Okay? Before we can get into that, though, I had a building finish. This Dnipro Flats has finished and people have started moving into it. That was kind of by accident. I didn't realize they were going to be doing that, but here we are. So we need to accelerate the construction of our store and our warehouse. All right. So there's 500 work days left in the warehouse to get constructed and stuff. They're going to be working on that for a bit. I've got road crews and everything sorted out, going for all these different places. And there's a road pattern in here that I've laid in as far as plans go. It's not quite what I originally anticipated for this area, but I think it will be a pretty good way of going about it. There'll eventually be one-way roads and stuff through here. We have a highway exit and entrance over here as well that will allow these guys to get out and go either this way or to get over and go into this interchange here. This entrance here is not really for people heading this direction. It's mostly for people heading this direction. I didn't want them to have to turn right and then have to go all the way down just to turn around and come back into this area, because more likely what they're going to do is they're just going to head up going straight and then coming in from this side. It would be faster. So I'm giving them another way to get in here, basically. Okay. So this area is going to get done. It's very important that we get this road completed. So I'm going to click this into high priority. And then I also want the helicopters to start working on as much of the stuff as they can. And it looks like they're only able to work on a few things. We'll have them start to work on some of these roads here, I guess. And some of these roads here. And anything over here that they can work on, they should help us do. We also need to get this pipe done. That's going to be very important. And we need to get water and stuff hooked up over here. All right. So we're going to have a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing that has nothing to do with crime in the beginning so that I can set that up, because winter is coming. And if we don't get the heating situation sorted, that's going to be a problem. This Dnipro Flats was getting constructed, but I have since stopped its construction. So it is stuck at 91%. And I have no interest in having that built just yet until at least after the winter. And of course, after we have this building here full as well. We're going to get a few electricity problems every once in a while. And I think because I really don't want to manage it and deal with it, I'm just going to go and switch to import really quick on these, just so that, yes, it'll cost us some cash, but I don't want to deal with it right now. Okay, so with all these things done and them hopefully working on it, we should have everybody working on, yep, these various different buildings. These are all set to high priority already. Let's talk about some of the things that are going to be essential for solving the crime epidemic, all right? The Orphan Gang, as I'm calling them. So, I've had a lot of comments about why crime is a thing and the things I should do to fix it, and some of you are on the right path, some of you are way off the beaten path. So, I want to just hone in on that right now, focus in on that. We're going to switch into teaching mode, all right? Chop, chop, children. School's in session. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with crime. You might think it's because I don't have enough police stations. I can assure you that's not the case. However, I want to be clear. All the things I'm about to say, I verified this by going back in previous saves. So I already know that this is the case. And I know exactly why our crime problem happened and when it happened, okay? So I'm going to talk about this for a bit. It is not because I have a lack of police force. Yes, we have a lot of crimes, and a lot of police are trying to work on crimes. Having the police stations overloaded is a symptom, not the cause. We also have, where is it? Courthouse. Also have a lot of cases in the courthouse. This is not too many. This courthouse can handle this many cases. It's fine. But this is also a symptom, not a cause. Some of you guys have said that I should have longer sentences in my prison. All right. This is also not the case. And it's actually not even a symptom of anything. This is just flat out not true. And I want to talk about how that works too. So let's go to the actual cause right? The root cause of it all, and that is orphans. Orphans are the reason for our crime being so bad in the city. Now, at the current pace, we have 4 orphanages in our republic. We have one here, we have one here, we have one here, and we have one all the way over here. You'll notice that every orphanage has a number of tutors and a number of children in care. And the closer this number is to its capacity, the worse care you're providing these kids. It's no different than like a large classroom, where if you have like a smaller classroom environment and the ratio of teachers to students is lower, that is to say that each teacher is responsible for less kids, then you can provide a higher quality education to those kids, since each individual student gets more of your personal attention. The same is true for orphanage in this case. So the one over in Sternikova is at 29 tutors and 104 out of 112. Basically 30 teachers for 100 kids, right? When we do that, we come down to the resulting upbringing level, we're going to see that our loyalty is dropping. So these kids are being taught to not be loyal to government, okay? Now that has a lot to do with the loyalty of the individual tutors, but it's also helped and hurt by the number of tutors that are in here. I've lowered the government loyalty requirements in my orphanages to under 50% because the current average government loyalty in my republic is super low. It's low now because of crime. So I had to lower it because this problem snowballs out of control. Crime happens, people start to lose hope, loyalty drops. When that happens, the requirements for teachers, people can't meet those requirements anymore. They stop teaching. That makes it worse for the orphans. They come out, they make more crime. They reduce loyalty some more. Even less teachers can teach now. It makes it worse for orphans. You see, it's just a snowballing effect. So you have to take corrective measures, and one of those corrective measures is reducing the government loyalty requirements for my teachers. So some of these are at 45%, 47, etc. Okay? If we come down to one that has like 35 teachers for 82 students, you can see this one's not hitting quite as bad. The loyalty is still a problem, but what we really want to focus on for this video and for solving this problem is how much criminality is affected. This is a dynamic average amongst your school, and it changes and fluctuates depending on how many kids are there and how many teachers are there at any given time, okay? You can see also that because of our poor coverage on orphanages, we are actually adding to an alcohol problem as well, okay? Now, we could go in and say, hey, I want less preference for alcohol and tick this box until we start seeing this. And for sure, we should, because at the moment, we have almost 1/5 of our population addicted to alcohol. That's no good, right? Very, very not good, all right? So we should absolutely look to adjust this to combat the alcohol problems. But if we go too much on this, we start introducing criminality, and that's because we simply have a bad ratio of tutors to children in care. Now, what happens is when you have too few of tutors and too many kids over the capacity, you start getting kids without an appropriate upbringing. And this is so broken. It is so powerful against you, okay? Scroll here down here now, and now the orphanages are adding criminality. And this is a problem because children, right, they start with 0. Every kid starts as an angel. Based on what they learn growing up, they're going to learn whether or not it's okay to commit crimes, okay? You can see the children in care in this orphanage, every single one of them has at least a low percentage criminality, okay? Every single one of them, except this person here. She is 11 years old, all right? Here's another thing that's going to happen. 11 years old, and she's perfect. But now I start to slip up just a little bit. And now it's going to add that 1%. And if there's even 1% criminality, they'll at least do a minor crime. Okay? Those really small crimes that we see here, this minor crime, these things are usually caused by people with really low criminality, but not 0, right? Then you have sort of a medium range, and then you have the serious ones. If they get away with it, they're going to commit a crime again, and that just increases their criminality. So you're just going to keep getting more and more crimes. So you need to address this at the source, and that is where these criminals are coming from, and that's the orphanages. A couple of things we can do for this. We can add more orphanages. But of course, to do that, we have to make sure that our citizens are available to cover and work those orphanages. So a higher percentage of our population has to be used to cater to orphans, to taking care of them, right? If we're going to do that, we also need the distribution of resources to go for orphanages as well. I don't have a whole lot of connection points left in my main distribution offices, so I've got another one getting built right here, okay? Just going to take some time to actually get that built. So orphans are the cause. Now, there is one thing we could do, and if you're playing this game yourself, you have two. If you're not familiar with the orphan system, and this is the first time I've actually used it, I've had crime and stuff in previous republics, but what I haven't been able to do in previous republics is just use orphanages. I just have avoided them because I know that they can spread crime. I wanted to try and use it this time around, but I didn't know how many orphanages I needed for the population that I had. Apparently 4 is not enough for 20,000 population. So we're going to add some more today, okay? So we're going to come over here, and there's actually a couple of things I want to do before we do that. I need the orphanages to have great coverage of everything. So there's a sewage tank here. Probably need that to be covered. We're going to end up doing something right here later that has to do with sewage because we're going to stop going this direction. This is the last pipe that I'm going to send this direction. We're going to run out of connection points anyways. All right. So all the future expansions that we're doing are not going to go that direction because at some point you are going to exceed the capacity of a large pipe. And then you're going to need extra pipes, and running extra pipes that distance sucks. So we're going to end up putting it somewhere else, okay? The other thing we're going to need to do for now is we're going to need to add another police station. Now, if we didn't have a crime problem, then we wouldn't need more police. I know, because I went back in previous saves, and I know that it was absolutely stable at 20K. I know it was absolutely stable. I've been artificially-ish keeping my population around 20K, 19K for the last 5 or so years in game. That was to test stability. But you may recall pretty recently, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and pop this right here. This doesn't have water coverage. I need to give water coverage over here too. Yeah, let's do this right about... We need sewage coverage and water coverage for this area. We'll do this right about here. And we're going to need garbage too. So real quick, let me just put this in so they can get it built. We're going to put the road that direction like that. And then we're going to put in garbage here so I don't forget. Let's just put this one right here. And we can probably just have it be, I guess, like right here is fine. Okay. That road is done anyway. All right, road crews, I need you to work on this and this. And helicopters can start building that. Okay, and then water. Let's talk about water just a little bit really quick here. And I want to get back on the topic of crimes. We got this reservoir that's not built yet, and it was supposed to be hauling and holding water for these flats, but I never finished it because these weren't supposed to be built yet. I just messed it up. So we're going to take a big pipe from the pump. This is the reason why I use these pumps. It serves as connection points as well as pumping with water pressure to other destinations. And then I want to also go in and use the big pump. And we're going to put this big pump, I think, right about here. It should be fine. It looks to me like this is not hooked up to anything either. Let's take a look at it. Nope. So we're going to need you to go there. And then I need another one over here that can cover this area. I think we're going to move this to be maybe over in this area a little bit, maybe further away. How about maybe down here? This far? We can put it over by the... Yeah, I think maybe over down here would be better. So how about we put this right down here? We'll say near the electrical lines, just on the other side of the electrical lines, so I don't get in the way of those. Right about there should be fine. This may be in the way of a future walking path, actually. Let me real quick put in a walking path here. We're going to want to have, for the police office, right? The police officers and stuff. We're going to want a walking path that goes back through here, I think. Let me just really quick check this out again. I realize I'm kind of redoing it, but it's important to get it right. So I want the walking paths to go right alongside this rail. So it needs to go out about like that. And then I want it also to be able to cross here as well. So you see how this is coming down right here? I want this to be able to cross. So it's going to go underneath the bridge to there. Okay, and then this path's going to want to continue on or move in another direction. We're going to have orphanages right here. But I think I'm going to want this to come through this way. So why don't we place the orphanages so that I know what we're doing here. Assuming we have water coverage here, and we probably should get sewage coverage at this spot, I should be able to place my orphanages down about like this, through that brown line. Yeah, it covers all the way out to here. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to put this right up against the train track, close as we can. And probably right about like this should be okay. Looks like that gets water coverage over there too, which is good. All right, then we're going to flip this over and we're going to place this right about here, I think. Should be good. Let's double check that, make sure the roads can connect and do what they need to do. And I want the road in the middle. All right, so I need to go just a little bit further away to get that. No big deal. Back over, grab the orphanage, and you're going to go just a little bit further away. That will probably do. There we go. Okay. I want to have garbage at this spot here. And I'm hoping that garbage there will also cover the orphanage that I'm going to put next to this. We're going to create sort of like an orphanage row, if you will, an orphanage area of town where we're going to take care of all these, well, I wouldn't say misfits just because they're, without parents, but so far it's, they're proving to be misfits. So yeah, we're going to take care of these misfits as much as we can here. Put it right up behind this if possible. There we go. Okay, and now if I make this road come straight this way, that's where I want this road to be, is coming down this way. So with that done, I want to have this go like that. Okay, we're going to have a walking path go across the tracks here. Okay, there we go. And then this orphanage can also, we're not going to be able to go across the tracks this way, but we can have this walking path come around and be something like this. All right, that connects these up to where they need to be in this area. And then it also allows me to go this way, provided the road comes down. So let's get the road put in. I want the road to be right here on this intersection and bring it all the way down to this point here. An alternative path in this direction. It's going to help for garbage trucks because they're going to be able to come through, pick up garbage over here, and take it back where it needs to go, as opposed to needing to come this way, find a spot to turn around, and then come back on this side to get the garbage, right? Need an alternative path there. Okay, with that road laid in, I can actually probably go ahead and just have it paved on this side for now. I want to keep this open for construction on this building, but we'll pave this part for now. And because we're paving that part now, I can go in and do this. And that will connect it all the way around like that, okay? And then on this side, we want this walking path to come over, and then we're going to have it go all the way across this way, and looks like we're going to have to move this. This is not quite in the right spot, so we'll move you. Didn't really commit to building it just yet. Get our path all the way to here and connect there. All right, good. Now we've got walking paths that are going to help us out here. You should be connecting here, and then as we remake this road, I think we'll probably end up, and this is dirt right now, I think I'll probably make it gravel, but either way, we want you connected so that these guys can get this way. So that road needs to be done as well. The walking paths submitted, and with them submitted, I can now go in and make my police station right here. So let's say police station goes right here. Yep. Right about, I think right here would be okay. Yeah, I want to see that road connect in a straight line, preferably. No, I might have to move the crossing, which is fine. Yeah, I'm gonna move that crossing just a little bit. So we're gonna put it here. This is gonna get redone, and then we're gonna make sure that we get rid of those connection points, or we won't. Is there a vehicle on that road? Vehicle somewhere. Wow, really? You won't let me do that? Wow. Okay, maybe it'll be okay. Maybe we'll just go... Weird. What's going on here? There, and then here. That works for me. Fine. Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. Now I can't get rid of that one. What's the deal there? I think maybe it's this bus that's right there. In any case, I want to get that hooked back up to these guys. Also get some labor that way. Helicopters one more time here. And then I want helicopters to start working on all of this stuff is what they should really be focusing on. I think pretty much exclusively here. Should be focusing on these things because they are the most important things. This water pumping station, we are going to want... Let me make sure this is at maximum priority. Thank you much. We are going to want all of this stuff connected. So I've got the big pipes coming into here from a pump. Then this big pipe goes into here to another pump right there, right? Then we've got this connection and these pipes that are going that way. Plus, we need another connection point over here. Now that we've put in the police station, we can see kind of where this walking path stuff's going to be. I'm going to have you connect there and then also over here. Let's not do that. Let's do this. I think that's fine. I just don't want the light post to be on the road. It's silly that way. Now, if you're going across this way, do we want to have this walking path meet up there? I think probably yes. All right. Probably going to want walking paths that go this way too. So real quick, we're going to pull the walking path from here over. We're going to get that out of here. Get that out of here too. And maybe that one wasn't necessary, but that one's probably fine the way it was. We're going to want a walking path that goes up this direction all the way out to here. Okay? Like that. Now we can connect there and there. So getting people to walk around the train tracks, all right? Good stuff. We can alternatively head this direction now, but I don't know about that. I may not put anything here. This might be a place for monuments. I can always put a road in and, you know, put a walking path in for something over here, be there. But for now, I'm just worried about people being able to get to these locations, all right? We also want to get the dirt off the tracks here. So I'm just going to go in and say, hey, delete the track and delete this track too, because if it's possible, you need to do that too. And then we're just going to tell it to cancel and cancel. And now there's no dirt on the tracks. Okay. So that gives us police expansion and orphanages, all right, to help us with the care of people. These guys should be in walking range of these buildings. Since they are not, it means that walking paths are required. So we're going to come over and do the same thing we did over here. So we're going to have the walking path go, I think probably from this road is probably best. I'm going to go across the road like this to here. Apparently I can't go any closer than that. That sucks. All right, well, if that's the case, then we might as well come straight. Yep, I guess. And then straight over, I guess like that. Sure. And then down about there, across here, and then up and connect there. And then this road that we just made earlier can now go and connect here. Now they're all connected as one big path. We're also going to want the orphanages and stuff and these walking paths to be connected on this side too. So I'm going to go underneath from here. I'm going to go there to the road on the other side there, and then finally connected to there. That should get them all in there, just the where they're supposed to be. Now, housing-wise, there's going to be an education problem. So I've gone in and I've added a kindergarten here. We're going to get that taken care of too, hopefully. And we're also going to want to connect it to this school. This school has quite a few students that it can handle, right? Teachers are trying to get them to be the highest of loyalty, but, you know, it is what it is. Well, how about we get this school connected on this side like that, just so they can get a little bit closer in walking to the school on that side. This side shouldn't be an issue. They can easily get to that school. But now with that walking path done, I'm hoping we can get to, yeah, we can get to that building all the way over there, which is cool. We can't get here. We don't have that walking path done. We're just going to go in and do that and that. And yes, I realize these are all the sidewalks with lights. I'm doing it for the maximum walking path possible or walking distance possible. I don't care if it takes longer. Although, to be fair, this part here probably should have just done normal walking paths, since I'm pretty confident that would be in range anyway. But I don't want to have to redo it later, so we're just going to let them build it as much as they can, okay? So, orphanage expansion, police expansion. Now, why do I say I've got enough police? Before the crime wave hit, police was very stable. Crime was very much under control, and this prison had like 40 prisoners in it at most, okay? Let me walk you through each individual step of this and talk about why I need to expand pretty much every single part of this. It's not because I needed it originally. I need it now to solve the problem. Originally was fine. The crime wave started 3 years ago in game when we had a big old winter and we got wiped out. It also almost started for Cernakova when Cernakova had their big winter. But you might remember a video or two ago, we had a massive winter that ended up with about 1,000 deaths, right? All those deaths led to children that don't have mommies and daddies anymore. That shoved a whole bunch of kids into the orphanages and a big boom that caused us to have subpar care for all these orphans, which in turn led to them not having their criminality being affected in a positive way. And instead, all the statistics that we care about went against our interests, okay? And I didn't catch it. That led to a huge boom in criminals, and now all of the sudden, my capacity for everything is not adequate. Even by adding that police station, it's still not going to be adequate, all right? These are going to constantly be filled with cases. I could have 7 of these. I've tried in my cheat save, all right? I could have 7 of these things, and they will still be full of cases all the time. What we want to do is balance it. How many cases are we going to catch versus how many we can actually prosecute? Because this building will get overloaded eventually, okay? For now, I think it's fine. There is a case to be made that for the interim, just to make sure we can solve the problem, we should add another courthouse. However, it does us no good to add another courthouse if we can't handle having them in prison. So let me talk now about the other comment I've been getting about my prison sentences. My prison sentences are perfect. Some of you disagree. Here's why you're wrong, okay? The purpose of the prison is to reform people to 0% criminality and get them back into society, okay? When you don't have enough warders, which is the core problem right now, and I need to fix that right now, when you don't have enough warders, you're not able to have a good upbringing level in this prison. You're going to notice that you can't affect criminality quite the way you want. I need to build another house. I'm going to build one right here. I need more people that will be constantly living in this area and constantly bringing people to live. You know, I need people to work in this prison, basically, is what I'm saying. Always. So I'm going to put this house right here. It's in range of like multitude of things, so it should be fine. Put this right here. Might even be able to fit 2 of them. Like right here next to the heating plant. This is obviously going to get pollution problems, right? So anyone who lives here is not going to be a happy camper. If I look over to my pollution meter, which is where? I know I had one here. Usually I put it relatively close to the hospital. I'm pretty sure I had one here, but I have no idea where it went. Maybe it burned down some time ago. I do have one over here, and if we hover over top of this, I can at least see the pollution up to there. And you can see that we're green here, and I think most of that has to do with the fact that the heater is not really running that much. But as it gets colder, it's going to run a lot more. So we are going to have some pollution issues if we're not careful there. I would like to get these guys to be able to walk directly to the prison as they can. So these guys need to work more in the prison. You guys need to work more in the prison, please. And I think also I kind of don't care about the pollution, so you'll just have to get more healthcare it's fine. We're going to put a smaller house here, so maybe we don't have to deal with it so much. So let's go medium housing, and we'll go 90% with 50 workers right here. Okay, and we'll say that there's a house, people living in it right here. Okay, we're gonna go dirt path there, dirt to here, and then this dirt to there, and that should allow whoever lives here should now be able to directly work in that prison always. All right, let's get a few different Cernakova labor, get you guys involved in that. Helicopters can come in and do that, etc. So anyway, there is a case to be made that another courthouse should be needed. If we can get more warders in here, I think you'll see that we have no issue with reform. But it's the fact that there's not that many warders in here is the big problem right now. So I'm going to take a look at this, and I'm going to adjust this route here. At least take a couple of buses off of it. So I'm going to take this bus here, and we're going to say, instead of going to the bus platform, you're going to go from the bus platform, and you're going to go immediately to this stop here. All right. I think we're just going to do that instead. And then you're actually going to pick people up and drop people off in both. Okay. So we can do passengers as well. Although I think at this bus platform, we probably shouldn't do passengers, but at this one, we will. That will allow people who live here to get on the bus on the return trip and to get into the town so they can go and get the stuff that they need. Okay. And then I'm going to have this schedule brought over to, let's say, that bus as well. So both of these buses will now have that route. So that hopefully gets more people to work here. And then what I want to do is just do this. Now, everyone who gets off this, we should see them, I'm hoping anyway, we should see them go and work at the prison. All right, so we'll check back in on that a little bit, because I want to show you why my prison sentences are the way they are and why they are correct. Okay, but I can't do that until the warders are adequate. All right, we got to get the warders back up, and that's just the problem with it right now. So let's get that happening, and then we'll check back in on that in a second. So if we're going to do another prison, where would it be? I'm thinking we should find places where people don't have jobs, and that's back here, right? I'm not entirely sure what the cause of that is. Probably just with inadequate trains and stuff like that. We don't have a lot of trains moving through here. So I'm going to have the prison be back here. I think this is probably a good call for it. So the second prison will be right over here. And we'll just say that it's in this spot right here. Okay. So that has heat and electric. But what it doesn't have is access to sewage and water. So we're going to be eventually expanding Cernakova out this way. It's going to end up being another big city. And as a result of that, we're going to need sewage coverage and stuff over here too. So what I'm looking at is, I think probably a water substation could be over about here. As far over as I can go. I think maybe this is fine. Maybe not quite as far over as I can go, but this right here should be a good spot. So substation there. And then the sewage tank just needs to be able to cover many different places, but also needs to be able to get that way. If I look underground, this sewage pipe is already running that way. So we're going to want this to run on this side of this. So I think this is probably where we want this to be then. I'm going to go right about here with it, I guess. Okay. So it gives us some sewage expansion on this side. Okay. To get these things built, we're going to want a dirt path. This is going to come all the way this direction. You're going to tag up there. And then we're just going to bring you over here for now. Okay, this is going to allow us to get in here and build this. To get the water hooked up, we should have, probably, I would think anyway, you would want to have another water tower. So I'm going to put that right behind the medical university. I'm going to put this right about here, I think. Is probably a good spot for it. And then we're going to take a look at the pump we've got. And this pump is then going to bring it out. This should be a medium. Yep. So bring it out this direction, hook up to the water tower. And then from the water tower, we'll bring another medium directly to this. Okay. So that gives us our water hookups. Provided that they get built, all the water should be sent into here, no problem. All right. The next thing we want to do is for sewage. And for that, I'm going to do a switch. And we're going to have the switch be, I think, probably about here, let's say. And then another one probably there. So that we can connect to multiple places as we build this out. Just to make sure that it actually works and functions or whatever. Let's have a big pipe go from there to there. It works. And then this one's going to go all the way. I could actually connect it direct here, right? I should probably go like this. Yeah. And then from there, I can run all along this. I know it doesn't really matter. All along this to about there, I think. And then from there, provided it's still downhill, we go into this spot. All right. So there's our sewage connections from these. And then this simple tank here can just be like a medium into there. That's fine. Actually, why don't we do it to this side instead? Like there. Okay. So that gets us our water and sewage hookup, which can support this prison, okay? The labor for this prison is going to come from this side. And now we can give these guys jobs by giving them a path to come straight across the tracks and build that, okay? There's your jobs. We're also going to want waste. So we're going to get a waste bin over here opposite of the road. That should be fine. There's some waste. And yeah, I think that's it. Let's go back over to the store. The store is going to need its own waste as well. So we're going to get a waste bin put in right next to this. Over here on this side, about like that should do. And then we'll want to get that hooked up to the road. So I need this road done. Where's my road crew? Can I get this to be a big priority, please? Also, like all of this stuff needs to be highly prioritized as well. Here we go. All this. This walking path specifically needs to be a high priority. Okay. Get that done. Yep. Get that done. That little segment there done. I don't like these tiny segments, but it's got to be that way. High priority there. High priority there. Yep. All these things. And then all the labor is on all these projects. Okay. Helicopters should be spread out amongst a whole bunch of different projects here. Yep, getting all that stuff done. And then I want you to also work on the water lines that we've got happening too. So you can work on these as well as that. Yep. Apparently they can't get to this one. Apparently not. So this is just going to be, again, one of those things where we can get labor on it. Yep. Okay, water out this way. Right, we didn't quite do that yet. So water out this way, I'm thinking probably, yeah, we could do it like right up against this. It should be fine right there. The further down I go, the more I can use it for the expansion though. So it might be better official just to put it right next to the police station. It wouldn't be half bad. It would still do exactly what we want it to do. Yeah, but let's have the dirt connection connect to this road. That way, we can get started building it now. We don't have to wait for this to finish first. Okay, good. So we'll get that added to the schedule as well. And then I want the water pipe. We could just do a medium one just because. But from this pump, we want to come out. And then we're going to connect right there. Okay. So that gives us the water. Sewage connections for the police station. And I guess for the orphanages as well in this case, but we still want that to be over in this area. So I'm thinking we're going to have this be maybe like, maybe I could put it over here, I guess. I don't want it to be in the way of what we're going to do in this area though. So I guess maybe I'll put it here. That seems fine. Yeah, we'll put it like this right here. And then we'll just have this walking path. It's going to connect to that once it's ready to go. But for now, we can't really do that. So it'll be a helicopter thing. Nah, we have to get this path done. I need this hooked up to the road as well. Okay, so a lot of things to build, right? There's a lot of things going on here. Did we get our water situation sorted? Okay, 42 out of 70. This might be okay. So let's take a look at this. We have 1.95% on criminality. I want you to ignore loyalty for now. It is an important thing to do. You do want people in prison to become more loyal, but if your prisons start to get too overpopulated, and in this case, it's only 50% populated, but if your prisons get too overpopulated, you're not going to do well with loyalty unless you have some really good warders. And in this case, I don't really have really good warders, you know, 49%, 55%, 67%. That's not bad, right? There are some good ones here, but I need higher government loyalty in here. I need them to be highly educated and things too that might help their effectiveness as well. So yeah, education level 2.38. So they'll be more effective if they're more highly educated as well. So we want to get that working. Let's go ahead and get the citizen vaccination happening, and probably because it's about to be winter, so we're gonna want to do that. As far as research goes, I want workers to go other places, to be honest. So I'm gonna take the staff in the technical university down to like say 35, and we'll start with, let's just do solar power project. Why not? And then over here, we're going to reduce the staff on here to, let's say, 15. And then we're going to have, let's say, tourist visas for the Soviet countries. We'll start on that as well. Okay. So 56, 57, 58. Here we go. So this should now be working for this. This is what we want to see, all right? If you have enough warders in here, you can do some really good work with getting them to be less interested in alcohol, more interested... less interested in alcohol, less interested in religion, more interested in sports. This is what we're looking at, 3.5%. Why are my sentences so short? Why do I think that this is the perfect sentences for this game? Minor crimes, 0.7 years. Median crime, 1.6. Serious crime, 2.5. Right? Why do I think that's the good thing? Okay. If you look at your own game too, do this in your own game. I invite you to do this. Click your prison. Hover over top of your prisoners, right? What you're looking for is how many of your prisoners have a 0% criminality. Now, mine, I'm not going to have very many, but there are a few. Take this person here, for example. This person has 0% criminality. I want this person out of prison now. They are reformed. We can screw that up by not taking care of them while in the prison. We could start introducing criminality if we have too few of warders, right? So I want this person out of prison so that they don't commit any more crimes. But this person has 2.3 years left on their sentence, okay? So they're going to stay in prison for this long, even though they're reformed because they committed a serious crime, right? Because there's a chance they commit a serious crime even if they have like 5% or something, right? Take a look at this person. This is a 4% criminality, okay? 1.2 out of 1.3 years. This might be a good case study to look at. So currently, our effects on prisoners is that we reduce 3.5% of criminality every time it pips, which I think is like every 2 or 3 days, okay? So what you're going to see, if we were to watch this prisoner more long enough, speed up time, what you're going to see is that their criminality is about to drop because we're affecting that, okay? That's what this is doing. So we should see this drop to about 1% pretty soon here. When it does that, they only have they're 1.2 out of 1.3 years, okay? So we want these guys to leave the prison once their criminality reaches 0. And so this is pretty aligned with getting that to happen, right? So now it's 1.3 out of 1.3 years, right? They're almost out. And the next time it pips, it will affect their criminality and then they will be released. So now we're going to be able to get them to 0 at just the right time to get out and everything will be fine. And this person will not commit any more crimes, right? That's what we're looking for. Affecting negative effects in criminality. As long as you have a really good green number here, you don't need long sentences. The whole point is to reform them, not to keep them locked up forever. So this person here, for example, we've done that. 1.6 out of 1.8 years. They only have another 2 pips to go, and they're already at 0%. Get them out of here, right? If you keep your sentences too high, you'll just fill your prison. And you'll be filling your prison, provided it's actually working really well, you'll be filling your prison with a bunch of people with 0% criminality. They're just staying in there too long. And you'll fill your prison up, it'll cost you more resources, cost you more money, cost you more workers, and you'll have to build another prison. Now in this situation, since I have a huge percent of my population with a criminal rating, I'm gonna need 2 prisons anyway, just because I have to process this many prisoners, right? And so we can help with that by just having good judges and allowing them to go to trial. So see, this is not overloaded. This courthouse is fine, right? Because what you want to see from your cops, since this is like an all-encompassing like video about crime, I might as well go through it. The police station needs to investigate to 100% before the statute of limitations on their crime reaches 100%. You basically need this to beat this to 100%. But even though this beats it to 100%, it's still going to keep the same limitation as it heads over to the courthouse. It will maintain its limitation. It's still ticking, right? Statute of limitations on every single crime, including murder in this game. So it's just labeled as serious crime. So maybe it's not murder, but whatever. Point is, you want to get through the investigation to 100%, send it to the courthouse, and then get the trial to 100% before the statute of limitations, right? So if we add more police, we're going to be able to process more crimes on this end of it, which means this building is going to receive more cases. As long as this can beat it, as long as the statute of limitations is low, it's going to be fine. So the more effective our police force, the more time this courthouse will have to process these cases, because the limitation percentage will go up a lot slower than the trial percentage, as you can see here, right? It's just time. So it's okay if this list gets filled up, just as long as it's not filling up with a bunch of 0% everywhere, okay? You don't want it to fill up with a bunch of like 80 to 90% on their limitations. That's not what we're looking for. So one courthouse is fine. Once we get 2 prisons, maybe we can handle another courthouse, maybe a small courthouse or something over here. We do have a police force over here that's been very effective. They're able to investigate things incredibly fast because we don't have very many crimes over in Zernovsky. Zernovsky's fine, right? So that's why I wanted to go through that. So I've covered why I only have 1 courthouse. I've covered why my prison sentences are small or lower. Granted, you have to have enough warders to make that work. If you have if you're low on warders, you're going to have a problem keeping the criminality down, all right? But a lot of your prisoners, look in your own games, a lot of your prisoners probably have 0% criminality. And if they do, and like they're near the end of their sentence, great. They're going to get out and they're going to contribute to society now. But if they're, sitting over with 0% and they just happen to have a long time left, like this person right here, for example, this person just got in prison, right? They just arrived for their minor crime. 0.7 years is their sentence. They only have 6% criminality. So they will be reformed in 0.3 years, right? 0.2 years even, right? They don't need to be in here very long. We can get them out, right? If they commit another crime because they had like 1% still, then they'll go right back in. But they'll go back in later after we've investigated them again, right? We don't want them to do that. We don't want to have to investigate people multiple times, but it's okay, right? It's going to be fine. So that's why I do it that way. So in a nutshell, we're going to create more. We're going to get our police station to be rebuilt, I suppose. And, or this one, sorry. We're going to build this one, add to our police force some more. And we're just investigating as many crimes as we can. Every once in a while, we're going to go through these minor crimes and we're just going to untick them. Now, what happens with this is that people get away with it. They got away with their crime. And this means that they're being, in a way, they're kind of being rewarded for their crime, right? And so they're more likely to commit more crimes later. We don't want to do that all the time, but it's important that we catch people as opposed to just having a ton of cases sitting here and not catching anyone. So we can get rid of a lot of these ones that are just coming in that are minor crimes and focus on sort of like the more serious ones, because these guys will end up going to prison for longer. And that one was a 95%. I probably should have let that go, but it's fine. We need to keep this going. So one of the things I wish they would add to this game is for my police forces to focus on a certain level of crime. I wish there was a setting where I could say, hey, can you guys just ignore minor crimes for now? And that way they would only investigate the serious ones. That would be pretty helpful, but it is what it is. Okay, I'm going to let this go for a little while so we can get things to build. There is one last thing I need to do, though, before we get going with this for the time lapse. And that is I need to talk about heat because we're getting close to winter. I believe we're fine, but I'm not as fine as I'd like to be. And I think as it starts to get a little bit colder, we're going to find that some of these buildings are going to have a hard time staying heated. That is especially true if this building is not working at 100% all the time, right? We need this working at 100% all the time. I think I can probably handle the power, actually. I'm going to go ahead and flip this back to cell mode right here. And then this just keeps happening. These vehicles getting stuck here with this question. I don't know why that happens. Let me try this. I have no idea if this is going to do anything, but just see what happens if that's weird. All right, let me see what happens if I do something like this. If I just connect that road, are you able to get out of there now? I'm not sure what you're doing. Okay, so your route was delivering bitumen. Very weird. So you're just like confused. You can't get Why is that? You have to get to this road. You couldn't just get to the roundabout? How come? You couldn't get to the roundabout from this street? Even so, you're in this. You should be able to just enter onto this. That's bizarre, isn't it? Like, this guy could do it. That's a very weird thing. But whatever, hopefully that solves that, so I don't have to deal with it anymore.